What's up? Welcome back to the vlog. I did do a full intro and unfortunately I fucking hit mute on my mics because that's what happens when you start trying to film at before 4 a.m. It is now currently 4:26 a.m. I've just gotten back from walking Samuel. Today we're going to be running you through a little bit of a what I eat in a day to fuel running, training, life, keeping the brain functioning, keeping the body fucking moving. Today is Thursday, which basically means that it's going to be a longer run this afternoon. So we're not necessarily worrying too much about like really crazily fueling that. We will fuel it a little bit. But the biggest thing is tomorrow is Friday, which means I will do a double session. So I'll be doing a class in the morning at Hurt Locker, and then I will be doing a lunchtime or mid-afternoon upper body day at the gym. iGym. But yeah, so to try and do 2 sessions a day, I start essentially fueling from the night before, especially given the fact that the class actually starts at 4:45 a.m. So this time tomorrow, I will be at Hurt Locker, warming up, getting ready to go. We start off every single day with the same breakfast, which is great. But I also get all my vitamins and minerals, all vitamins sorted. So, ubiquinol, vitamin B complex, multivitamin, vitamin D3, especially in Melbourne because the weather is up and down all the time. We got omega-3. Arjuna bark, and my Dexy. Normally I would have my Dexy before I go on my walk. I just forgot today. Brekkie, the exact same as basically every single day. This is the exact same breakfast I will eat every single day, purely because of the fact that it just ticks a lot of the fucking boxes. So it's just a smoothie, it's easy, it takes me 2 seconds to make. It's loaded full of all the macros I need. It's loaded full of micronutrients. We've got oats, whole grains, fiber, etc. We have walnuts, which have got really good healthy fats in them. We have chia seeds, which also have really good healthy fats in them. They've also got omega-3s, which we really want to help us reduce inflammation within our body. But there are also like a whole range of other benefits as well. That's why people will have fish oil or just oily fish in general. I've got protein. I don't know if you can hear it on the mic, but Samuel's decided now's the right time to absolutely go ham on his water bowl. It's very loud. Protein, for obvious reasons. At the moment, I'm just rocking bulk nutrients, WPI cookies and cream. Bit of maple syrup. That's sugar-free, so there's actually no calories in it. Tastes all right though. And then 1 banana. Normally it's around 110 to 120 grams. Some days slightly under, some days slightly over. Simple as that. I think that took me about 45 seconds to put together. Blend it up, take it upstairs with me to actually do my work. And that's how I start off the morning. Nice and easy. Just getting through a little bit of a work for the morning, doing check-ins and all the rest of it. It's now just after 8 a.m. So I now have a couple of little snacks that tie me over until lunch. Nothing too crazy. A couple of LCM bars, Paul's Protein Plus, blueberry yogurt, and then I had a pretty fucking average sleep last night. Feeling a bit ragged today. So we're going Monster Energy Ultra Rosa. Just a couple snacks, carby, protein, keep it moving for the next couple of hours. I normally have lunch around 11 to 12, depending upon the day, depending upon like what work I need to get done. And then idealistically, looking at today's schedule, I'm gonna be running around 2 or 3. So if I eat lunch at 11 or 12, I'll then have my pre-run food at about 1 to 2, depending upon the time that I'm actually going to go running, which I'll bring you guys along for that. But yeah, basically whilst I'm working, I just try and keep shit as simple as I can and ensure that I'm still ticking the boxes I need to tick. I'm just a sucker for just easy shit. I just can't be bothered to really prep anything too much. I prep my lunches, which I'll show you that when lunchtime comes. And I also technically, I guess, prep my dinner as well, which you will see that a little bit later. But yeah, otherwise, just enough to get the brain continuing to push forward through the morning. Wrap up a little bit more programming stuff for some clients, new client onboarding, and then I have some social media stuff to do, and that's pretty much it for the morning. So check back in soon. Lunchtime. All right. I gotta stop saying all right so much. Lunch is pretty straightforward. It's beef stroganoff. I cooked it Monday. It's pretty easy. It's beef. It's beef, a packet mix, pasta, mushrooms, and then I add the holy grail, the secret, semi-dried tomato strips. Now these things are fucking loaded full of potassium. In a 25-gram serving, there is 800 milligrams of potassium, which is huge. Now, a lot of people underconsume potassium. The biggest issue in Australia is that it doesn't actually have to be on the labels of food. In America, it does. So what I actually tell people is when they're tracking to try and use the USDA database on MyFitnessPal rather than something like NutHab or something like that, because USDA actually has the potassium content. So a lot of people are actually not understanding how much potassium they're getting in a day. B, a lot of people are actually under consuming potassium in a day. For me, I like to have 2 times potassium to 1 time sodium. Potassium helps a lot with funneling shit out of the cell, avoiding cramping, all the rest of it. Obviously, sodium pulls water in and all of that. So sodium is listed on a lot of people's foods. It has to be. But the issue is people overconsume sodium, underconsume potassium, and then run into issues like cramps and all the rest of it. And especially for people like endurance athletes and stuff like that, definitely a big thing to consider is your electrolyte balance, which is the sodium potassium. There's a couple of other electrolytes such as magnesium and calcium. Fuck me, how'd I just forget that? Lol. But anyways, a couple of other electrolytes, but as long as you're getting a pretty good balance over the course of the day, then that is fine. With my lunch, I like to have 50 grams of semi-dried strips. So throw these bad boys on. Plus they actually taste pretty good. So that always is a massive bonus. It's raining. It's not looking good for the Savo's run, bruv. Not looking good. But that's fine. Back in the microwave and we eat. There has been a slight change of plans. So this is actually a really good education time. If you have some of these symptoms, it might be time for you to deload. If you cannot sleep, but you are extremely fucking tired, i.e. you can't get to sleep, if you are having disrupted sleep, i.e. you are waking up throughout the night fucking wired. If your HRV is tanking, if you have an ability to track that, if your resting heart rate is a little bit higher than it probably should be, if energy feels low, if you're irritable, if strength in the gym isn't exactly what it should be, if you just don't feel that like oomph in your day, there is a very strong chance you could have overtrained. Now, I ran a deload last week. However, that deload still saw me training probably more times than I would generally run a deload with. And unfortunately, I've carried that through into this week. Now, starting the week with HIIT session Monday, track Monday afternoon, legs Tuesday, upper Wednesday. Today's Thursday. My sleep last night was fucking atrocious. I finished lunch and I will be honest, I had to have a half-hour nap on the couch because I was absolutely fucking exhausted. So what I've decided to do today, this afternoon, is because I don't want this to continue to drag on and I want to actually give my body the chance to recover, because it's not just about how hard you train, it's also about how well you can recover and take a step back when needed, especially when the body is sending you a lot of fucking red flags, and they're not quite red just yet. They're whispering, but it's not screaming. I'm going to go for a little half-hour jog this afternoon, purely just to get a bit of blood flow, ticking the legs over, nothing crazy, nothing strenuous. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to take off completely. Over the course of those 3 days, I'm going to bump my carbs up to 550 to 600 grams a day so that I can completely replenish glycogen stores. I'm then going to allow myself to rest and recover over those 3 days so that I will not be training. I will be doing as much as I can to just down-regulate my nervous system, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of it, so that I can come back Monday and hit it fucking hard. I still think that this is a good way to run you through and show you a little bit about how I'm going to be doing that. Normally when I run, I have crumpets. Normally I'll go 2 crumpets, 40 grams of jam, liter of coconut water when I train, or I basically have a liter of coconut water a day, every single day. So I'm going to have 2 crumpets with jam. I'm also going to have 2 pancakes with jam. So this will be just basically starting the carb up, because I'm only starting this at 2 p.m. Today I was just having like a normal sort of carb intake day. I was going to have potentially a little bit higher towards the back end of the day just to accommodate for tomorrow's 2 sessions. But I will get started now so that I'm not up late eating, and I also then allow the food adequate time to digest. Normally, if I'd had more time to plan, prepare, etc., I maybe wouldn't go for these specific choices. I only grabbed the pancakes because they were on sale. But what this is going to allow me to do is it's going to be fairly quick digesting carbs. It's going to get into my body and it's going to replenish those glycogen stores, as I said. I will still get a bit of a run. It's 2 p.m. now. I'll probably go for a short jog at about 3, home, done by 3:30, wrap it up, try and get an early night, try to sleep as best as I can. Hopefully my body actually allows me. But I will still pick this back up at dinner time. I'll show you guys what dinner is. For now, I'm gonna go and munch on these bad boys and we're gonna keep it moving. As I said, it's not always about how hard you train. It is also about ensuring you are resting adequately to continue to fucking perform at your best. Dinner time. Now, as I mentioned, I have decided to increase my calories, or just my carbohydrates, for today, which means I am having 600 grams of carbs, which is a little bit up on what I would normally have at the moment. Dinner is pretty straightforward. It's going to be slow cooked chicken, which I already slow cooked at the start of the week. I make wraps. I then have like a multitude of salad stuff. We're rocking capsicum, cucumber, lettuce, tomato. I have kiwi fruit. Normally I have 2. Tonight I'm going to have 3. They're actually really fucking good for you in terms of they aid digestion really, really well. So they're a great source of fiber. They also actually aid in sleep. So there's been some studies that have shown kiwi fruits actually do assist in your sleep. Now it's more to do with REM sleep, so our dream state sleeping, from what I've seen. Could be wrong there, don't quote me. Um, but at the same time, I know when I've had kiwi fruits consistently in my meal plan, diet, etc., they fucking go well. I just enjoy them. They're actually quite nice. And I think a lot of people will like limit yourself to like when you can have certain foods and how you have it. Normally I do also have pineapple with these. I actually ran out of pineapple tonight, which is very devastating because I love pineapple. Pineapple's also really good in aiding digestion. It actually helps to break down things within the gut. So yeah, trying to sort of just tailor everything around keeping as much whole foods within the diet as I can, whilst obviously you saw the crumpets, you saw the pancakes, which as I said, the pancakes are a little bit of a one-off, but I will also have a little bit of a sweet treat over nighttime. At the moment, it's just a cookies and cream ice cream bar from Coles. The reason I get them is because they're $4 a packet for 4 versus Maxi Bonds, which are like $12 a packet for 4. So I can get 3 packets for the price of 1, which basically means I'm a fucking budget saving king. Plus, they actually taste pretty good, to be completely honest. My favorite thing about Maxi Bonds is the actual cookie bit at the end, whereas this whole biscuit is just straight up cookie. But yeah, that's basically dinner. I will be having a full liter of water with it and probably some form of sugar-free soft drink. Something I should have mentioned as well, because I'm now going to be increasing my carbs over the next few days, I will also be increasing my water. What that will mean is straight away my scale weight is going to go up. This is generally due to glycogen replenishment, but also water retention. Carbs per gram hold around 3 grams of water, which means when people have an increase in carbs, they generally will see an increase in water. But most people don't actually increase their water intake or their sodium to help balance it out, or their potassium, which is what I was talking about electrolyte balance before. So I'll add another liter of water before I go to bed tonight. Sugar-free soft drink of some kind. This is it for me now. I'm going to slap these bad boys together. And then that's day done. That is a day on my plate. Now, I did mention that this is slightly different to how I was going to be planning to have the day, because today was essentially going to be planning to A, do a longer run, and then B, do 2 sessions tomorrow. Now, I did a run today. I ended up just going for 5Ks, cruisy, kept my heart rate under 150, which put me at a 5:29 pace. So I got 5Ks done in 27:27, which is not fast for a lot of people. But honestly, in relation to like where I was previously and to where I'm at now, 12 months ago, I couldn't even actually run because my shin splints were so fucking bad. I could barely walk most days properly without being in horrendous pain. So the fact that I'm able to actually run consistently and do paces like that, where I can actually comfortably control my heart rate under 150 and just coast for 5Ks, get it done. And yeah, I'm pretty fucking happy. So remember, in a world full of YouTube and hybrid superstars and all the rest of it, there's like people putting up fucking sub 25Ks left, right, center. There are people who are, 20 years old, deadlifting 300 kilos plus for reps. There is all these multitude of absolute freaks. And I know that it can be really disheartening to a lot of people because they see all of these things and they're like, fuck, why isn't that happening for me? But I need you to remember that there is genetic anomalies in every fucking industry. Every sport you see, there is these absolute freaks. And I'm not saying that everybody who does a sub 25K is a freak or anything like that. But these guys are athletes. Like, they're very, very conditioned to be able to do that. And that stuff takes time. If there's one thing I've learned, and if you watched last week's YouTube video, if you haven't, go back and watch it. If there's one thing I've learned in my training journey, is that you're pretty fucking capable. You can achieve some great things if you only put in just a little bit of effort consistently over a really, really, really long time. You'd be surprised what you can achieve. So that's it for me today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.